So Park Place posted this article talking about CD Projekt Red and how some of the people that work there, some of the key people that work there, have left and made their own studio, right? And it caused a little bit of a commotion on Twitter that I thought was funny enough that I would go and recap and talk about. Because why not? You know what I mean? Why not? So this is the article that Park Place put up today called "The Witcher 3 Directors and Other Devs Leave CD Projekt Red to Start Rival Studios." Okay? And it covers it a little bit, how they decided to make a new brand new studio. And you'll see the CEO and game director over here. It's called Rebel Wolves, all right? So this is a new studio. They got the CEO and game director, Conrad. And pardon me if I butcher his last name, guys. Thomas Giewicks. And then there was a few other people that decided to make their own studio. And there was reasons why they did it. Notably, one of them was that there was allegations of bullying. According to this article, he denied those allegations because I guess people were at CD Projekt Red were trying to say he was a bully. He denied them, and then he started his own studio, and he was eventually proven correct or innocent. So we're dealing with somebody that's in charge of a studio that left because there was false allegations against them. A lot of these people that try to cancel you and they try to do bullshit towards you, they spread false allegations and all this crap. So that's part of why this started. Now, this happened quite a bit ago. I think this happened like in 2022 sometime. So the main argument that's going on, and this was touched on with the exchange that Mercante and Park Place had, she said this happened years ago. So technically, she's right on that. This happened years ago. But then she did an accusation, and my problem is that this girl doesn't like when people accuse her of stuff. She's quick to throw the slander buzzword out there. She's quick to throw the defamation buzzword out there. She's quick to throw the harassment buzzword out there. But all day, every day, no matter who it is, if it's somebody that she doesn't like, she will point a finger. She will accuse them of stuff. She will tweet things. But God forbid you say something about her. God forbid you make a video about her. You'll end up on a block list. You'll end up having passive-aggressive tweets. She'll contact your wife. She'll do all this bullshit. Everything under the sun against you if you throw any feedback. Like, imagine if this was flipped the other way around, right? All this so-called harassment that she likes to compare herself to, which she called herself comparable to Amber Heard today. And she's kind of been throwing this Amber Heard narrative out the last few days or so. She's been like retweeting a lot of pro-Amber Heard support posts and things of that nature, which I think, in my most humble opinion, Amber Heard is a vile human being. Not just a vile female, a vile human being. And if you support Amber Heard in any form or fashion, you're just as bad as her. She tried to say that he's intentionally misleading people to push a narrative, okay? And while that is, I guess I could say, in a good little fair point, if we're gonna fucking take bias and stuff like that, I'll give her just this. It is a title that makes you think people are leaving right now, right? But if she really wanted to look, like if you really wanted to use your brain, if you really wanted to look at the title, it says Witcher 3 Directors and Other Devs, right? So it's talking about Witcher 3 Directors and Other Devs. They left CD Projekt Red. They started rival studios. This article is more of like an opinion piece. It's more of like a commentary piece. It's not a trending news topic. They're not in this article at all claiming to have this as something that's up to date. Like, it's not actual like day-to-day news today, all right? It's a commentary article where they're talking about how CD Projekt Red of today, the people that are going to be working on Witcher 4, are not the same people that previously worked on Witcher 3 or even other titles. A lot of these gaming studios are losing employees that were longtime legacy employees. Just look at BioWare the other day, that they lost a writer of 15 years. That's not going to be working on the games anymore. So this article is more focusing on that to inform people. There's nothing wrong with properly informing people ahead of time of a studio that's going through staff changes and developer changes and stuff like that. So I read this article, and sure, the title, if you're a retard, might be like, oh, okay, all these people are suddenly leaving at first glance, because let's be honest, a lot of people on the internet, they just read titles, they look at a thumbnail, and they make an assessment or a judgment based on whatever article or video that is out there, instead of actually reading stuff or looking at something and absorbing it like a sponge, right? What's up, Serpentine? Whose girlfriend's back? What's up, Hot Rod? Eric's girlfriend's back. Who's my girlfriend? K-Field says BioWare spit. Man, BioWare really fucked up with Veilguard, did they not? So, this article from TheParkPlace is what caused all of this hubbub today. He's basically just talking about the history of what's gone down with CD Projekt Red and why this new studio was made and which employees left and all of this. And they even shouted out Smash JT, who made his own video about it, giving his thoughts. It's almost weird that that journalists, like certain journalists like Alyssa Mercante and whoever, think that people can't give a take on something that's not current. Like, I could review Mario Brothers 3 and do a video essay on it if I fucking want to. I could talk about a GTA 5 incident at a GameStop where a manager got fired if I want to. Like, why are you trying to control the content? And the idea is that they're painting it that people are pushing narratives and false narratives. Meanwhile, these people that are Access Media act like they're the only ones that can control the narrative. Like, these guys have never misinformed or misdirected or pushed certain narratives. And I'm not naming certain names on that, but you see actual Access Media, you see actual gaming journalists do things of this nature that they like to poke that rage bait grifters and right-wing grifters and all this crap do. The main problem of what it is because we're not pushing their narrative. We're not in their train of thought. We're not woke, to use that term that they hate. We're not in that boat, so they don't like anything that we do. That's why they call it grifting, right? So they shouted it out, and Smash actually did his write-up, which I have it right here, talking about how Witcher 4's trailer had all these red flags, blah, 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 but that a lot of the important developers and studio members and employees of CD Projekt Red are no longer there. Can we help you with something, right? So that's what this whole article and shit was. Rebel Wolves talking about it, talking about the formation of it, talking about all the employees that were a part of it. And for whatever reason, she was saying that you're intentionally misleading people to push a narrative. So how many of you guys saw this topic, this whole exchange that was on Twitter or X? I don't call it X, I call it Twitter. But how many of you guys have seen this whole exchange that was going on? The folks doing gaming media coverage the past 5 years for online outlets, many of them probably never worked in print media and never faced that kind of scrutiny for their work. I mean, if you think about it, a lot of these gaming journos that are out there right now are like, what, less than 5 years removed from college, from university, and they've honestly probably never even worked in a real office environment, which is why when Geo Media told them, hey, you need to actually work on guides, and they ordered them around, they became little crybaby snowflakes. So yeah, she wasn't too happy about the title. She wasn't too happy about the title being called The Witcher 3 Directors and Other Devs Leave CD Projekt Red to Start Rival Studios. She's saying that it's intentionally misleading people to push a narrative that this is happening right now as we speak, right? And TheParkPlace says, would that narrative be that key talent from Witcher 3 are not working on Witcher 4? Which is actually true, okay? Think that it's clickbait, think that it's bullshit, think that it's misleading. It's actually true, all right? There's key talent from CD Projekt Red that worked on Witcher 3 that are not working on Witcher 4 at this time. It's not false, okay? So she goes, you intentionally use present tense in your headline to imply that this was recent. Nowhere in the piece do you write when they left. By intentionally depicting it as recent, you are trying to capitalize on the misogynistic right-wing ire that kicked up after the Witcher 4 Game Awards trailer was released. It is transparent. So, nitpicking at another journalist, imagine if this was done to her. She would suddenly write a thread about how she's comparable to Gamergate. That was a decade years ago, that she's a victim of a hate campaign, that she's a victim of daily harassment, and that she's some kind of like soft angel that bugs nobody, right? She can't even like address people like without being loud and condescending. Loud and condescending, although there was other instances, and Horn started hit it right here. Her headlines and articles are not clickbait. All she is clickbait propaganda. And that's a fair assessment. I mean, the article that she wrote that kicked it off, that Sweet Baby Inc. doesn't do exactly what you think it does situation, nobody was allowed to give criticism or feedback on that. It instantly became a hate campaign, right? Weird how that works. Now, Death Star says they have no leg to stand on for what they've done. All they have is deflection, denying, and wasting people's time, which is a fair assessment, because a lot of times when you look at what they do, when you look at what they argue about, and when they debate people, it circles until you say something, because it's almost like they try to gaslight anybody that they have a confrontation with. Like, who 110%, this whole argument with her in the Park Place is them attempting to gaslight so that you end up saying something that they could try to twist, like almost like a woke Uno reverse card, right? Oh, well, look what this person said to me, and oh, I'm the victim. That's all it's about, to be completely honest. A banger reply right here. Banger fucking reply by the Park Place. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit more so you guys can read this better. And it's weird. Sometimes my cursor shows up on screen like this, and sometimes it goes away. I don't know why it does that. I don't fucking know why it does that. But Park Place says, did Kotaku avoid covering games people wanted to talk about? I'm beginning to see where the business strategy might not have worked out. I read through the article, not finding much other than noting the controversy is the right-wing misogyny noting that the controversy is the right-wing misogyny in the room with us now. And honestly, that's what it's all about. Like, not just with Alyssa's articles, but a lot of these like journos that are out there, even the men, like even like white men that are like radicalized woke journos, all their articles and everything that they write about, everything that they live for, everything that they talk about is about how bad straight white men are. And not even just white men at this point, just anybody that's not a liberal, like anybody that's right wing. And then they label everybody as alt-right. Like, not everybody is alt-right or full right wing. A lot of people that speak out and a lot of people that are talking about anti-woke shit are centrist. They're more in the middle. A lot of them are. Men in general, whether you're a dude or not, you're part of the fucking problem. That's how they look, right? That's how they look into it. Like, if you're not taking down the patriarchy with your soapbox and your platform, even though you're supposed to be writing game reviews and game guides, you're part of the problem, okay? That's literally what it's about. Why are these guys in the gaming community? Like, why are they working for gaming companies and gaming journalism if they don't talk about video games? Now, I know some of these people that might be watching this, well, you're a video game channel, but you don't even play games. You complain about them, but you don't play. No, bitch. You could go through like over a decade worth of gaming content, whether it's streams, let's plays, reviews, commentary. I've been covering this shit for 14 motherfucking years, all right? Have these people that are gaming journalists now, I'm almost old enough to be their dad. I'm at least like, what, 10, 15 years older than a lot of the people that are working here, give or take, sometimes even older than that. These people weren't writing articles or making videos or commentary during the first Gamergate because they were in elementary school. They were in fucking elementary school. But now they have the keys and they know it all because this whole new thing about hating men and bullshit is just, it's fucking weird. As far as like this whole thing goes though, it's like all about hating men. And that, I think a lot of that is why you have some of these very polarizing, divisive people. In my opinion, you know, the problem that we have with people like Alyssa and I don't know who else is out there, but all these other people that are like Kotaku brain rotted people is they've been taught you have to hate men and men are the problem and men are the reason why the world is in the state that it is. It was pilgrims that came and pillaged and raped fucking Native Americans. They've been taught all this weird history and it has absolutely nothing to do with their fucking job. Okay? It has nothing to do with their fucking job. Keep in mind, Geo Media told these people they had to write game guides, and they still refuse to do it. They still write about how Gamergate represents all of the stuff that they're empowered for, and they write all these cringe Elden Ring game reviews that talk about everything but fucking Elden Ring. Miss My Shit Don't Stink. Miss My Shit Don't Stink says, you knew exactly what you were doing, stoking reactionary flames to get clicks. You left the date and time frame out for a reason. Deflection doesn't change that. And honestly, I have a big pot calling the kettle black on that. Could you imagine, you know, all the times that we've critiqued her writing, all the times that we critiqued her articles for being biased and doing damage control for Sweet Baby Inc., that suddenly got labeled as hate campaigns and harassment. And then people like Smash get frivolous lawsuits against them, where in the literal like cease and desist and lawsuits, they try to claim that it's his fault that Kiwi Farms doxed her. It's his fault that Hassan Abi, you know, caused her to get fired, even though it was Destiny, the omni-liberal, that fucking tweeted about it. Sure, only TheParkPlace and only the rage bait grifters promote false narratives, right? Only the rage baiters promote these false narratives. And TheParkPlace clapped back with the, is this you? And this honestly was the article that kicked off what you would call, or what they like to call, Gamergate 2.0. That this was never about anything. Oh no, this was when Assassin's Creed Shadows got delayed. So she wrote another bullshit article, basically saying that it's not about, this article, I made a video talking about it, and basically she blamed racism for why a lot of these games are failing. She said that DEI is not the issue, basically, that it's a whole bunch of right-wingers that are racist, that are bigots, that are throwing shit fits over Yasuke being a black protagonist in Assassin's Creed Shadows. It was all that. A bullshit article that promotes a narrative. Again, only their narratives are allowed to be pushed, right? Only their narratives are the ones that are allowed to be pushed. It's not hate. That's the issue. Is I don't understand why these people would label feedback like this, like me saying this. According to her, this is a hate campaign. This is harassment. Like, we're not allowed to do this. Like, that side doesn't believe in this. And then there's a small percentage of naive people, the can't you just go back to talking about video games and why does it matter? Like that crowd, the misinformed crowd. This is all about video games because this changes. This stuff is narratives that are trying to push how video games are made, how video games are developed, like literally, like defending companies like Sweet Baby Inc., defending woke ass development studios like Ubisoft. Like, if you turn a blind eye to it and you let the gaming journalist be in the fucking pocket of these people, like they all work with each other, okay? It's obvious. This company works with this company that works with this journalist, and if one person doesn't comply, the journalists go and they write hit pieces about that person, or they write hit pieces about that studio. It affects us all, and it gets worse and worse and worse. Luckily, more people have been speaking up about it. More people have been speaking up about it, and Serpentine hits it right on the dot right here. The reason they made it this far to begin with is that we sat on the fence to begin with. It must always be called out now, and it should. It should. And if people just want to turn a blind eye to it and be blue-pilled and ignore it and sit here and talk about their NES games for the 1,000th fucking time instead of looking at our media, we're the targets, guys. Push one in the chat if you're between... real quick, let me check. If you're between the ages of 25 to 44, push one in the chat. And you know what? Go ahead and tell me your age too. If you're in the second bracket, which I believe is 35 to 44, let me see. Give me 1 second right here. I'm going to pull up my demographics because this demographic is what the majority of gamers and people that go and watch movies and television shows, the demographic that all these people want are male that are 35 to 44. And according to my stats, 35.6% of you guys are that. And that's the highest demographic I have. After that is 25 to 34. Movies, TV, films, gaming want that bracket. The 25 to 44 years old male demographic, because we're the main demographic of everything. These wokies will tell you that gamers are not predominantly male. They are. And we're the ones that in a traditional household have the fucking money. In a traditional household, we're the ones that make the bread for the kids. We're the ones going out and buying the game. Sure, certain games like Fortnite and all that have more children playing it, but where do you think those kids get the fucking money? Where do you think those kids get the money from? From the middle-aged man. The exact demographic that these people hate. The exact demographic that these people hate. So tell me how it fucking works, right? Tell me how it fucking works when you have all these journalists, all these game developers on X and Twitter talking about how straight white men and just straight men in general are the fucking problem and that they hate gamers and they want to attack gamers. How does it work? How do you expect to get your money from those people, from the consumer that you're literally hating on, and you're making everything against them, but you want them to buy your shit, and when your game fails, it's their fault. So it's damned if they do or damned if you don't. And if you don't think that's facts, you're ignorant. You are fucking ignorant. You are ignorant if you think that men are the fucking problem. That men are the issue. Because men are the reason why this market exists. Okay? It's not sexist. It's not misogynistic. It's not whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's not chauvinistic. It's fucking facts. It's fucking facts. So you attack all the men. You attack all the male gamers. And you tell them that they're the fucking problem, all this and that. No. When you make a product, whether it's making hamburgers, right? Or making tennis shoes or Air Jordans or anything like that, you have to cater to your main demographic. And if you attack them, that's a fucking problem. And sure, there's smaller demographics too. There's still women that play games. There's still minorities. There's still all this, but you got to cater to where your audience is. And you don't attack your audience. And you don't blame people for false narratives, okay? You don't pull this whole, oh, you're pushing a narrative, you're doing all this. If you're doing it your fucking self, okay? People should be able to talk about who or what the fuck they want. End of the fucking day. And if you don't believe in that, too bad. Oh, but you just said that these devs and these journalists attack the gamers, the middle-aged men. Yeah, guess what? They're allowed to do what they want. They're allowed to say what they want. But they can't act surprised when the narrative that they push fails against them. They can't be like, oh, why are our games failing? Why did Concord fail? Why did Veilguard fail? Why did Suicide Squad fail, and be surprised that the main demographic isn't buying it. Because look what you're doing to the main demographic. It's like when I started switching my content from gaming and actually doing commentary and calling out DEI and stuff, I lost like a couple thousand subscribers. How is that a successful grift? Like when people are like, "Oh, well, you're just a grifter." No, for like 2 years, I was like in the red, view wise, subscriber wise, because not everybody's gonna like what you talk about. Okay, and you don't have to. You don't have to agree with it. You don't. Not everybody has to agree with it. And if you try to please everybody, you please nobody. All right. But I lean into my audience. Does it mean that I'm grifting? Fuck no. Because I believe in this shit. I believe in calling out fucking bullshit ideologies and crap. And it's disgusting to see the lengths and lack of ethics that a lot of these people fucking pull in the gaming industry. So anyways, going on. And plus, I'm a gaming channel. I'm going to talk about stuff that's influencing the gaming industry. Like, make that not make sense. Your attempts to distract are as paper thin as your reporting. Right? Like, pot calling the fucking kettle black. But you can see right here, going down, she goes, that piece you just linked is an opinion piece. You presented your article as news. And TheParkPlace says, look, I'm not going to lie. It feels like you're angry about a lot of other things, which I think is fact. Maybe we could have updated the article or headline, but I'm not sure you have the credentials to give editorial advice at the moment. We're going to pass this time. Maybe check back later. That's a fucking own. Because you hear all these journalists, they try to say that they have access media, that they have credentials, that there's some bigwig in the industry and all this. And he's literally like, I'm not sure you have the credentials right now. Because guess what? She's a freelancer now. She's not even an editor at Kotaku anymore. She's a freelancer at every single article that she submits to. And honestly, I'm not sure she has credentials at this point, which is what fucking TheParkPlace said. So I think that was pretty fucking hilarious. And then she goes, what are your credentials? Disney Park fan account turned right-wing gamer blog run by who? What are all your backgrounds? Does Jesus move you to write misleading pieces and scene? I think that's complete felted right there. I think this is a complete felt. Of course, you could... These guys believe that once you make one type of content, you have to stay there. Like, who gives a fuck that this used to be a Disney fan park account? They still have a section that talks about the Disney parks. They still have a section that talks about movies, TV, and all of that. They have a game section now, too. And who gives a fuck what their politics are? Anybody has the right to speak their opinion on stuff. And what do their backgrounds have to do with anything? Is it not going to be diverse enough for your suggestions? And what does Jesus have to do with it? Being loud and condescending doesn't make you right. It doesn't. It just makes you annoying. And being loud and condescending to people, constantly being on the attack and then crying that you're harassed, doesn't make you right. It doesn't. It doesn't make you right. So yeah, TheParkPlace continue to fucking content, infinite content glitcher. You could see... She said, by intentionally depicting it as recent, you're trying to capitalize on the misogynistic right-wing ire that kicked up after the Witcher 4 Game Awards trailer was released. Newsflash, that right-wing ire was around already, okay? The trailer at Witcher 4 just... People are allowed to not like shit. Like, if a trailer comes out, we're allowed to fucking shit-talk it. She also went after Stuttering Craig, and I know his topic of the Real Game Awards is pretty fucking divisive because a lot of people feel that you shouldn't have to pay to vote in something. He has his own reasons for it that are listed on his website for it. I personally didn't pay to vote, but I don't see anything wrong with it because guess what? It's optional. You don't have to fucking vote at all. But I do believe that it's good to have something that doesn't allow access media that's bought and paid for. Because let's be honest, the Game Awards show with Jeff Keighley, 90% of the fucking vote, 90% of the fucking vote, guys, goes to access media like IGN, Polygon, Vanity Fair votes in the Game Awards. What the fuck is Vanity Fair know about gaming? What do they know about gaming? Why do they need 90% of the vote? And only 10% of the vote goes to actual gamers at the Game Awards. The Game Awards is just commercials. It's literally just like Super Bowl ads and shilling and quid pro quo shit. They had that one weird guy come out and give like a speech, and he has ties to being like involved with Tencent. I forget what his name was, Ari or something like that. They literally had a guy that runs Tales of a Zoo, who was that game that was by Sweet Baby Inc. that was like, I think it was like an African game from Africa. It's like an African developer. They had him present. Like, it's literally like a fucking a club. It's not even a real Game Awards show. So I could see banning access media, limiting it to people that pay to vote. I could see reasons for that. I wasn't going to spend money to vote, but I still support this. At least with sharing it and stuff like that. You guys could think whatever you want about it. At the end of the day, the reason why it's made, I think, has some merit to it. At the end of the day. And I don't think it's a grift at all. Because Stuttering Craig has been a successful individual in the gaming industry for years. He actually has had access media in the past. Screw Attack was one of the biggest gaming companies out there. So successful that it actually got bought. Rooster Teeth bought it out. It actually got bought. They were the ones that helped project AVGN to like new heights initially, decades ago. They had successful conventions. I think if anybody should be running anything, if anybody should have a foot in the gaming industry, Stuttering Craig should be it. And then here's what I saw. Post-Christmas chill stream, but I will be talking about how the Blake Lively Amber Heard shit relates to my online experience. So she's comparing herself to Amber Heard now. She's comparing herself to Amber Heard now, guys. She's fucking comparing herself to motherfucking Amber Heard now. Which, in theory, is pretty fucking accurate. Pretty fucking accurate. I think she got cooked in her fucking... Yeah. Me. TV trial is just going to make you farmable content for many weeks from much larger and vitriolic communities. I don't know if this is coming to TV trial. She apparently wrote an article on her Patreon talking about how she's relatable to Amber Heard and all this crap, but I'm not going to pay her Patreon. You publicly challenged people to a fight and you lost hard. That you are suing someone and deleting evidence that you started the fight in the first place. You are a selfish hypocrite and will lose in court, just like you lost in the realm of public opinion. Leave it to Alyssa Mercante to take other women's stories and make them about herself. Nobody asked. So basically saying not one woman has come forward with Johnny Depp saying he's physically hit them, right? And Amber Heard basically says, well, look what happened to me. Of course no other woman's coming out and speaking against Johnny Depp. You can just look into Amber Heard's face and see how insufferable of a fucking vile woman she really is. So yeah, this is the newest grift, in my opinion, that Mercante is trying to do. She's trying to paint herself as like Amber Heard, to where she can't speak up because all these chuds are so against her, and it's a hate campaign that's forming against her because she's a woman and because men and the patriarchy are so bad. That's essentially what she's trying to paint, guys. And of course the wokies will fall for it. But Alyssa said, I've spoken to someone who knew every single major grifter who has gotten popular in the last around 10 months, and they all say the same thing. They never acted like this until they started to get a modicum of internet clout. So, these people are grifters, basically. The person you're giving hundreds of dollars to is playing off your insecurities to secure the bag, your mark. So this remark right here is in response to Smash's Give, Send, Go. She's upset that he's raised almost $60,000 on it for a frivolous lawsuit that she posted, that she started, that she picked enough, right? But I have a funny thing. If she's trying to include me into that, I didn't make a bag. I want you guys to guess how much. Well, I'm not supposed to because it's terms of service. It's terms of service. But if anybody's thinking I've made a bag since becoming a rage bait grifter, they're mistaken. They're fucking mistaken. Because this year wasn't even my biggest year as far as ad revenue goes. If I wanted to just make ad revenue, I would make the Nintendo Switch and PS5 videos that I was doing in 2020. Okay? In 2020, I made more ad revenue than I've ever made in my life. Ever. It was as far as ad revenue goes, and I hate talking money, that was my best year during the pandemic. Now, this year I've gotten more views and more watch time than ever, but I have about half of the revenue that I've ever made from 2020 till today. So I've made about $12,000 this year on YouTube. Believe it or not, for what I have. I've made about $12,000 from YouTube. So I'm not making a fucking bag, okay? I'm not grifting. I'm not just talking about anti-woke shit so that I can get rich. So when you hear Review Tech USA say that bullshit, when you hear Mercante say that, when you hear anybody else say that, they're full of fucking shit, okay? I'm not making a fucking bag. I make the content that I want to talk about because it's what I want to fucking talk about. And I've started growing with subscribers and views more than ever this year because I'm finally being myself. I'm finally talking about the content that I want to talk about. I'm not here, hey guys, let's check out this game on the Nintendo Switch. Ooh, gaming. Like, I'm finally talking about what I want to talk about. This person has a hate boner for people like Smash and other people like that. And they're constantly upset that, oh, how dare they speak about anti-woke shit? How dare they give their opinion? That's what the internet's for. If you don't like it, who gives a shit? If you don't like it, stop crying about it. You can have your opinion. You can say whatever you want. But if you fucking don't like it, don't click it. Unless you're going to, like, don't go personal. You feel free. Make your own articles about it. Make your own videos about it. Tweet about it. But don't hide in Discords. Don't hide in DMs. Don't be vile. Don't be trying to send fucking screenshots and video clips of people's live streams to be a snake behind the fucking scenes. If you're gonna have a fucking opinion, man up and say it publicly. If you're gonna have an opinion, man up and say it publicly, like all the rest of the adults do. Unless you're afraid of being scared off the fucking platform again. But no, I'm not rage baiting because I'm grifting off of it. If it wasn't against terms of service, I would show you guys that I'm not where even money-wise as much as I've ever made in the past. View-wise and sub-wise, fuck yeah, I am. But I don't do this to get rich, okay? I don't do this to make money. Would it be nice? Fuck yeah. But I'm one of the motherfuckers, you see my career, I've been, 14 years on YouTube, struggling. I was stuck, in the 80,000s for, fucking 5 years. You really think that I'm fucking trying to get a bag here? I wasn't monetized my first fucking 5 years of YouTube. If you don't know my lore, if you don't know what I've been doing to work hard for this platform, man up and say it publicly against me or shut the fuck up. You want to talk about, Alyssa Mercante wants to talk about TheParkPlace pushing narratives with this original tweet right here, where she was saying that they're pushing a narrative. Guess what? This right here is pushing a fucking narrative against people. I'm pushing a narrative against people like me, Hypnotic, Smash, you name it. This is pushing a fucking narrative against YouTube content creators that are leaning into their audience, right? Breaking news, guys. YouTube channels find success after leaning into their audience and making the content that their audience wants. You guys want stuff that's relevant, stuff that you guys care about. And the problem is, people like Mercante, people like this individual that says, people used to not be this way. My pussy. You guys can't stand it, that it's against the grind of what you fucking want to hear about. And guess what? If you don't like it, make your own content. Make your own articles. Like how they tell us, like Nick Calandra says, if you don't like games, why don't you make your own games? Well, guess what? You don't like my opinion. You don't like Smash's opinion. You don't like Hypnotic's opinion. Make your own opinion. Make your own stuff. If not, if you're just going to hide in Discord DMs and Discord groups and group chats and DMs and talk about people that are having success, then fuck off. Like this, all this tells me is that she has somebody in her ear talking to her that has a hate boner for rage bait grifters like Smash and myself that isn't man enough to come out and talk about us. That's all it fucking says. That's all it fucking says. Okay? In my opinion, anybody that buddies up with this woman, that defends them, that white knights for them, they're just as bad as her. So the fact that there's somebody out there that's, oh, I spoke to somebody that knows all these grifters. Guess what? That person's a snake just like you. Speaking of fucking snakes, I want you guys to guess who's still trying to kiss ass. Good old Review Tech USA. Still white knighting. Still trying to get the attention of Alyssa Mercante. A couple weeks ago, he was actually cheering her on for removing 2 of my videos, guys. Did y'all know that? When she took down 2 of my videos for harassment and cyberbullying, he was gloating about it. He was laughing about it. He was retweeting about it. He supported it. He also told one of his mods to sue the fuck out of me. And he was also supporting another one of his mods for reporting me and mass reporting me on YouTube. So this guy has been, just because he has a hate boner for me and Smash, he's been trying to buddy up with this girl. I don't even think she's publicly acknowledged him, which makes the whole situation even fucking sadder. This was like like RTU wasn't even in this. Okay? RTU wasn't even in this thread. So Grums responded to Old Man Grim. Shout out to Old Man Grim, who was basically screenshotting what we just talked about somebody that knows the grifters and all this crap. Grum said, I watched nearly every YouTuber she's talking about for a year or more before Gamergate 2. The reason I told everyone to reach out to them is because they were already covering the stuff in Hollywood and in games and understood what was happening. They didn't change their attitude or beliefs, and they already had substantial followings, which if you watch me, I started covering anti-woke content almost 2 years. I think when Hogwarts Legacy came out, February, was it 2023? Was it last year or was it 2022? When Hogwarts Legacy came out, that's when I switched the script and I started covering anti-woke content. So way before I even knew Mercante. I think Mercante didn't even have a job at Kotaku yet, or she just started, and she didn't. Sweet Baby Inc. wasn't even a factor in 2023. So going on, he said they didn't change their attitude or beliefs. I've always been right-leaning, guys. I'm in Texas, all right? If you've known me on my personal, like, social media and stuff, I was a super pro, like 2016, I was pro fucking MAGA. I still am. I've always been right wing. I've always voted Republican. I've always cared about these same issues. I've always covered them. I never changed my shit. If somebody truly knew me for the last 10 months, like this person says, they wouldn't say that I just changed my stuff because of clout. Maybe my content didn't talk about anti-woke stuff or anti-DEI, but let's be honest. This stuff has only popped up really in the last year. How many times did you hear about Sweet Baby Inc. before 2024? Let's be honest. Never. If I'm covering trending topics, that's why it's there. Okay? If Sweet Baby Inc. didn't exist, I wouldn't be covering it. So, going on, Grum says the more popular they got, the angrier she became. Threats of hit pieces. Yep, she threatened to write hit pieces on Osmond Gold and a couple other people. She threatened to expose Melanie Mack. Remember that? She was all like, oh, if anybody knows anything about this rage bait grifter female that is a holy roller all of a sudden, please send me details. And then she threatened to fight people. Remember the fight me physically bitch shit. And then now this lawsuit against Smash. Like, all this is literal, like, facts that she self-imposed. Now it says she's always been the angry one, the aggressor, the hater. She has tried to threaten, harass, intimidate, fight physically, and sue everyone. Nobody would have talked about her if she didn't keep threatening to beat people up or sue them into the ground. Meanwhile, she loved the attention, but sees that it did not translate to followers. Her streaming failed, and she was let go from Kotaku. I mean, dude, whether you like Grumps or not, he's speaking fucking facts here. At the end of the day, these people have their own fucking grift. They want to call us right-wingers, us rage-bait grifters, like they want to call us that. They got their own fucking grift. They're in the opposite. All right? Are you telling me that she's not a grifter? Because somebody explain that? So continue on, it says, now, of course, she and her reporter friends are trying to rewrite history. Exactly. They deleted tweets. All of them deleted tweets around the same time. Playing the victim, making videos of herself crying, etc. They're busy penning articles about how this was a hate harassment campaign driven by money. Again, I'll be happy to show anybody my revenue for the year if you think I'm driven by fucking money. They coined the term grifter when they first tried Nazi, bigot, phobist, but didn't work anymore, although some people fell for it. It's the same playbook they used to successfully cancel whoever they didn't like for nearly a decade, but it's failing. They're out of ideas. Her lawsuit is her last-ditch attempt funded by activists and full of meritless claims. It's all meritless. See, even Hypnotic says he's been doing the same thing for 3 years. I'm like going 2-3 years in, covering anti-woke shit, calling out this bullshit. Well, anyways, my point is, something that had nothing to do with Review Tech USA, he picked out a fucking tweet, a response to Grums, saying what she means is equals, why don't I have the audience that's going to help me raise over $50,000 in legal fees? And Review Tech had to come in white knight for the most vile fucking woman in the fucking gaming industry. Review Tech USA, guys, this is how far he's fucking fallen. I got a simple answer for you. Because Alyssa Merc doesn't cater to sexually frustrated chuds that make rage bait content. See, there you go. Gamers rise up. And this is a reference to Smash JT's video that literally says Gamers rise up in the title. Look, man, I'm going to say this because I have somewhat small little modicum of care for you. If you want to recover, if you want this redemption arc that you think you're currently on, but you're not, to continue, you need to stay as far away from Mercante as fucking possible. You need to look into this lore, this history of everything about her. Because this ain't going to help you. You think that you're going to redeem yourself by associating with probably the most divisive, polarizing individual in the gaming community sphere? You're fucking misguided. Like, big time. All right? And even Big Dave called it out. Before trying to squeeze into other people's drama because you have no content of your own. And you know what? Rich doesn't make content anymore. He's non-tent. He will sit there and criticize everybody else doing shit. Even DSP. Like, as much as you guys don't like Darkside Phil, as much as you guys might think he's an e-bag or whatever, at least DSP tries. He doesn't always succeed, but at least he tries to do a podcast. At least he uploads a lot of shit. At least he plays fucking video games. At least he fucking does shit. At least he tries to do food reviews. What does Review Tech USA do? Other than complain about everybody else and not hold himself accountable to anything and cry. Now he's targeted Smash. He's targeted myself. He won't dare target a real rage bait grifter. He won't target Hypnotic. He won't target fucking Grums. He won't target anybody. He only targets me and Smash because the same individual that is right here, the same person that Mercante's talked to about the rage bait grifters that she knows, is in contact with him. He does not have the balls to call anybody else out that makes anti-woke content because he's a fucking loser. He has no argument. He has no moral ground to stand on. He doesn't even make content. He's non-tent. All right? He's non-tent. If he made a video unboxing something, like let's say he bought, I don't know, like a fucking Happy Meal and unboxed it, that's more content than what he's doing fucking right now. That's the problem. He's on the outside looking in on his past success. And now he's trying to squeeze into other people's drama so he could be relevant. He doesn't make content of his own. And Big Dave says, you should learn what's going on. Nice try again, though. Fact you're replying to a nobody like me shows how far you've fallen. And that's fucking facts. You see, this person says, we get it. You want to fuck Alyssa. And then the model gamer says, you know, Rich, I got to give you a Cliff Notes version of what's going on because you seem to think it's all about people gooning over women in video games when really there's a good many more layers to this tale. So he went on a banger fucking like up to date, too long didn't read on what's going on. Of course, Review Tech USA is not going to read this. Of course, Review Tech USA is not going to read this. But look how far Review Tech USA has fallen. This guy had 1 million subscribers at one point, and now he could barely get 12 likes, no retweets, and 5 responses to a tweet. Not even an acknowledgement by the woman he's fucking simping for at this point. She didn't acknowledge him. She didn't fucking say thank you. He was laughing at her deplatforming me the other day. Just keep that in mind. Keep that in fucking mind. This is how far he's fucking fallen. So anybody that supports Alyssa Mercante, like I said, anybody that defends her deplatforming, anybody that defends her being a vile human being, is just as bad. So, Review Tech USA, not a good fucking look. And I'm going to push that narrative. And I know, Eric's just trying to push a narrative. Review Tech USA is literally simping for the world's worst gaming journalist, in my opinion, who's throwing frivolous lawsuits, who's contacted people's wives, who's gloated about shutting down Smash's website, who's wrote hit pieces on people, who's tried to tell people to fight her physically, who's misled people in her articles, who only wants to talk about people but doesn't want anybody to criticize them, who deplatforms, who took down 2 videos of mine, who claimed that I sexually harassed her even though she came to my chat talking shit. That's who Rich of Review Tech USA is standing up for. So if you guys defend Rich, if you guys are fans of him, if you guys think he's a great content creator, you can also go fuck yourself because he's a vile human being just like her. End rant. Period. Point. Period. He was giving me shit a few weeks back about living with my father. My father's 86. He's a Vietnam veteran. Okay? He's 86. Do you know how many people live that old? Not many. Your father's not 86. He's like, what, in his 50s, 60s? What's your fucking excuse? My dad sacrificed for this fucking country. You know what your dad does? Takes care of your children. So Alyssa Mercante put, I get dozens of these comments a day and have for months. Random guys who I've never interacted with saying horrible shit in the replies of an innocuous post. Right? So she's constantly playing this whole, oh, I get hate. I get death threats. I get bullshit sent my way. You know what, Mercante? You're not the only one. Okay? You are literally not the only one that gets shit sent to their inbox and sent to their emails and gets death threats and shit and gets sent bio comments. You're not. You are not. You want to know the sad truth about this? This is what happens when you're a public figure. All right? This is what happens when you're a public figure. You'll get stupid messages. You'll get people sending you death threats. You'll get people sending you vile, evil shit. It happens. And guess what? It even happens to me. And it happens to other people. And let me go ahead and I'm going to go to Smash's. Because Smash got one today. But I also got some. So where's it at? Right here. I get these a lot these days. Very serious mental health crisis going out there. It's unfortunate to see. So look at this guy. Kill yourself, faggot. I hope your ugly whore wife and inbred child dies in front of you. Racist, sexist, faggot. You don't see Smash blaming this on Mercante. You know, Alyssa Mercante blamed her death threats on people that make videos about her. She blamed Kiwi Farms on Smash in the lawsuit. You don't see Smash blaming this on Mercante. These guys only care about fitting their fucking narrative, guys. They only care about acting like they're the only fucking victims. Well, this is absolute fucking projection. Absolute fucking projection to blame Gamergate and blame fucking death threats and blame bullshit. You know, thinking that you're the only one. Oh, Mercante, guys, is the only one that gets fucked up messages, fucked up shit sent her way. Oh, my God. That's it. Again, she wants to try to say, which my original fucking thing of the night was, she wants to fucking say that TheParkPlace is painting narratives, misleading people with an article to push narratives. Yet she's the fucking cunt that pushes narratives. Yet people like Rich are the fucking dickwads that push narratives. Get off y'all's fucking high horse. Get off your fucking virtue signaling. All right? You're not the only people that get fucking talked about. You're not the only people that get fucking harassed on the fucking internet. So I'm going to show you guys my own shit. My own shit. This isn't my message request, which means it's people that I don't follow that don't follow me. This person sent me this on the 21st in response to me laughing at something that Melanie Mac posted, right? And they put, how? Are you a fucking retard? Maybe end it all if that's what makes you laugh. Ha ha. Only joking, of course. Go fuck yourself. One sec. You're right about her. You're still a cunt. Do you see me saying this is Mercante's fault? Do you see me blaming this on anybody? Do you see me throwing legal out there? Do you see me writing articles that I'm some fucking victim? Do you guys see me writing all that? Oh my God, this is a hate campaign against me. Oh, this is harassment. Do you see me doing that? Anyone? Anyone? And this is all my message requests. I get fucked up shit in here. I get all sorts of fucked up shit. And I also get fucking spam bots and bullshit like that. These are message requests from people I don't fucking follow. But I get shit like this all the fucking time. Discord DMs, all that. And I'm going to show you guys an email that I got. This was sent to me. Do you guys see me crying about hate campaigns? Do you guys see me crying about harassment? Do you guys see me comparing myself to Amber Heard? Do you guys see me writing articles about Gamergate and all this bullshit? Do you guys see that? Alyssa, if you're watching this, you're not the only one that gets bullshit sent your way. That's part of being a public figure. Not to mention all the videos that have ever been made about me by people. I literally have had a guy obsessed with me for like the last fucking 5 years. Make video after video after video after video about me. They even sent CP to my email at one point. Do you see me crying? Do you see me blaming shit? I like, it fathoms me for somebody like Mercante to think that none of us rage bait grifters have ever had trolls. So she's not a victim. She's not the only person that's had people target her. She's not the only person that said hateful things or criticized. That's the problem, is that people don't like to be criticized. By all means, if you guys ever have an issue with me, make a video about it. Talk about it. You can sit here and pretend that you're a victim all you fucking want. You're not. You're not different than anybody else on the fucking internet. You're not special. You're not a fucking some martyr for a fucking hate harassment campaign. At this point, and it's my opinion, the only reason why she keeps referring to Gamergate and target harassment and Amber Heard and all this crap is because she wants to have news outlets write about it. She wants to have articles writing about it. She wants SEO and search engines to pick it up so that she seems like she's some kind of relevant individual in the grand scheme of things. And it's going to backfire hard as fuck. Instead of just being like, hey, I'm a public figure and people are going to say stuff about me, and everybody that says stuff about me is not harassing me. Some people have valid criticism. Some people don't. And I might start shit. I might talk shit. She can't do that because she has no humbleness about herself.